all I needed. That's all I needed for him to do that, and it became personal with me.
Oh, then Shaq, they said, Shaq. He said, They said, we got your teammate, his name Kobe. He a kid, he sucks, but he got insane potential. Shaq said, that's well and good, but I'm trying to win a championship right now.
Michael Jordan just dropped a shocking bomb about his bond with Kobe Bryant, and he didn't just leave it at that. After years of staying quiet, MJ is finally peeling back the layers on why so many NBA legends had smoke with the Black Mamba. He claimed there's a side to Kobe fans never got to witness, a side that explains why respect and resentment followed him everywhere. The league worshipped Kobe's killer instinct, but behind the highlight reels was a tangled mess of rivalries, bruised egos, and straight-up hostility that could flip a locker room upside down. And you can't even start this story without touching the most famous feud in basketball history, Shaq versus Kobe. That beef wasn't just messy, it was nuclear. Two titans trapped in the same jersey, forced to share a crown. And the fallout ended up costing the Lakers more rings than anyone wants to admit. From 1996 to 2004, Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant gave fans one of the most terrifying duos sports has ever seen. 3 straight championships from 2000 to 2002 proved their dominance. But behind the champagne and parades was tension so thick, you could cut it with a knife. The real problem? It wasn't just basketball, it was life itself. Shaq and Kobe weren't built the same. Shaq rolled with a playful, larger-than-life swagger, loving the spotlight and soaking in his power on the court. Meanwhile, Kobe was wired different. He was all about obsession, laser focus, and a Michael Jordan-level demand for perfection that never switched off. Shaq wanted to enjoy being king and have fun, but Kobe wasn't letting anybody slack. He demanded full-throttle intensity 24/7, even in the off-season, and that pressure cooker mentality clashed with Shaq's laid-back empire builder vibe. And when those two collided, sparks flew, and the dynasty cracked. That vacation vibe didn't last long. The disconnect between Kobe and Shaq finally blew up. In the lockout-shortened season of 1998 to 99, things turned ugly during a scrimmage when Shaq straight-up slapped Kobe in the middle of a pickup game. Teammates had to jump in before fists started flying, and that moment proved their beef wasn't just about basketball. It was personal, and it was raw. From there, it only spiraled deeper into chaos. Kobe's legal troubles piled fuel on the fire, and then came the bombshell that shattered whatever fragile bond they had left. While being questioned by police, Kobe reportedly threw Shaq's name into the storm, claiming that Shaq paid women hush money. That revelation wasn't just reckless. It sent shockwaves through Shaq's marriage and painted Kobe as someone who would drag private locker room dirt into the spotlight if it gave him leverage. The betrayal was brutal, and the fallout was instant. The Lakers had no choice but to pick a side, and in 2004, Shaq was shipped off to Miami. Officially, the decision came down to numbers and age, but let's be real. This was Kobe's world now, and everyone knew it. The Lakers doubled down on Kobe's vision for the team, even if it left scars all over the franchise. But Shaq wasn't the only one who got caught in Kobe's storm. His fiery, often ruthless approach made life miserable for teammates he didn't rate as equals. Just ask Smush Parker. From 2005 to 2007, he started at point guard for the Lakers, sharing 2 full seasons and even a locker room wall with Kobe, and still walked away, describing the experience as straight-up traumatic. That feud became the headline of Parker's career, overshadowing everything else he ever did on the court. Smush Parker swore Kobe never even looked his way, let alone spoke to him. The mind games were silent but ruthless, and it ate Parker alive. Imagine suiting up with one of the biggest stars in NBA history, only for him to act like you didn't even exist. That wasn't just cold, it was calculated. Things went nuclear in 2007 when Parker finally aired out his frustrations in an interview, saying playing with Kobe was overrated. He exposed the lack of mentorship, the zero communication, the ice-cold treatment. Kobe didn't take that lightly. His clapback was vicious. He went public and declared Parker the worst teammate he'd ever had. His exact words? He shouldn't have been in the NBA, but we were too cheap to pay for a point guard. That wasn't just shade. That was career-ending humiliation designed to crush Parker's reputation forever. And the cruelty didn't stop at words. Parker claimed Kobe would literally freeze him out of games, refusing to pass him the ball if he felt Parker wasn't up to standard. The result? A toxic atmosphere where every teammate lived in fear, knowing Kobe could flip on them at any second. Nobody was safe from becoming his next target. Years later, Parker tried to bury the hatchet with a heartfelt letter, asking Kobe to sign memorabilia for his pastor, who idolized the Black Mamba. Shockingly, Kobe agreed and signed the items. But even then, it felt more like a power move than a genuine peace offering. The wound never really healed. And just when you thought the drama ended there, another feud brewed, this time with Dwight Howard. The 2012 to 2013 Super Team was supposed to be unstoppable. Kobe, Dwight, Steve Nash, and Paul Gasol. On paper, it looked like a dynasty in the making. But the reality? Pure disaster. Howard was fresh off back surgery, still trying to reclaim his dominance, and Kobe's suffocating leadership style clashed with him every single day. That so-called dream team turned into one of the ugliest chemistry meltdowns the Lakers had ever seen. The real clash between Kobe and Dwight Howard wasn't just about plays, it was about philosophy. Dwight came in wanting to smile, have fun, and bring some lighthearted energy to the game. But Kobe wasn't having it. For him, it was all or nothing. No jokes, no shortcuts, just pure, brutal commitment to winning at all costs. That's where their worlds collided, and the battles spilled right onto the court. There were moments caught on camera where Howard threw elbows at Kobe, and Kobe fired back by calling him soft. But these weren't just competitive jabs. They were sharp, cutting insults meant to tear Dwight's confidence apart. Years later, Dwight admitted he carried hate in his heart for Kobe because of that label. Imagine being branded soft by one of the fiercest players ever. It stuck to him like a scar. The psychological damage was so deep that even after Kobe's passing, Dwight admitted he still struggled to process it all. Over time, Dwight said he came to understand Kobe's approach, that the verbal warfare was Kobe's way of testing and pushing people, but that didn't erase the years of resentment or the shadow it left over his career. And Dwight wasn't alone. The Black Mamba left a trail of feuds with stars and role players alike. He clashed with Karl Malone after Malone allegedly crossed the line by flirting with Vanessa, Kobe's wife. He butted heads with Ray Allen, embarrassed Kwame Brown with relentless criticism, and even froze out Jeremy Lin. Every single time, the pattern was the same. Kobe sniffed out weakness or lack of obsession, then went straight for the jugular, exposing flaws publicly and without mercy. Unlike other superstars who kept locker room beef behind closed doors, Kobe seemed to love putting it on blast. If you fell out of his favor, you didn't just get benched, you got humiliated in front of the world. That created a culture of fear in the Lakers' locker room, where every teammate knew that one wrong move could put them on Kobe's hit list. Even Michael Jordan, Kobe's idol and mentor, saw it firsthand. He recognized the brilliance of Kobe's unrelenting style, but also the destruction it left behind. And here's the kicker. These feuds were only scratching the surface. The dark side of the Mamba stretched way past basketball drama. His personal life was riddled with scandals, lawsuits, and family betrayals that made his NBA beefs look tame. That's the part fans rarely saw. And it's the side of Kobe that made his legacy as complicated as it was legendary. The man who built his brand on Mamba mentality, discipline, focus, and excellence, was hiding demons that rattled even those closest to him. The most devastating scandal of Kobe Bryant's life erupted in the summer of 2003, when a 19-year-old hotel worker in Eagle, Colorado, accused him of sexual assault. This wasn't just another celebrity caught in a headline. It cracked open a darker side of Kobe's character that the public wasn't ready to face. According to the accuser, what started as an innocent tour of Kobe's hotel room spiraled into something terrifying. She said Kobe forced himself on her despite her begging him to stop. The case wasn't just talk. Investigators had physical evidence, including blood on Kobe's shirt and injuries that matched her account. At first, Kobe flat out denied having any sexual contact at all. But once DNA evidence came back, he was cornered. His story flipped instantly. He admitted to the encounter, but now claimed it was consensual. What shocked people even more was Kobe's description of the encounter, where he casually admitted choking the woman, saying it was his thing. That detail painted a chilling picture of violent tendencies hidden behind his polished NBA image. But Kobe didn't just fight the case. His defense went scorched earth. His legal team launched a ruthless campaign that publicly dragged the accuser through the mud. Her name was accidentally leaked multiple times, unleashing a tidal wave of harassment, threats, and intimidation that made her life a nightmare. The pressure became unbearable, and she ultimately refused to testify, forcing the criminal case to collapse. Still, the scandal didn't vanish. A civil case followed, and Kobe was forced into a settlement. His apology statement from that case became infamous, not because it cleared him, but because it exposed the fracture in his defense. Kobe admitted, "Although I truly believe this encounter between us was consensual, I recognize now that she did not and does not view this incident the same way I did." That single sentence summed up the darkest chapter of his career, one where his legacy wasn't defined by championships or game winners, but by accusations, humiliation, and a glimpse into a side of Kobe Bryant most fans never wanted to believe existed. The wording in Kobe's so-called apology didn't sit right. It read like a legal loophole, either showing he never understood consent or was carefully dodging responsibility while pretending to be remorseful. The civil settlement, reportedly worth $2.5 million, felt less like accountability and more like hush money meant to bury the scandal and silence the noise. What shook people even more was how fast the redemption machine kicked in. Instead of distancing themselves, Nike and other sponsors stuck by him, helping to polish up his image while the case was still fresh. But the Eagle, Colorado scandal wasn't an isolated moment. It exposed a much bigger pattern of infidelity and betrayal that stalked Kobe's personal life for years. During the case, Kobe admitted publicly to adultery, shattering his family man image and humiliating Vanessa, who had to stand beside him at press conferences while the world dissected her marriage. And it didn't stop there. Rumors of ongoing affairs and other women swirled around Kobe for years. By 2011, Vanessa had had enough and filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences and demanding joint custody of their children. With no prenup in place, she could have walked away with half of Kobe's $150 million fortune, painting the picture of a marriage eaten alive by cheating and emotional strain. Though the couple reconciled in 2013, the damage was already public. Kobe even tried to fix things by buying Vanessa a $4 million apology ring, a grand gesture many saw as buying forgiveness rather than showing genuine change. And if the marriage drama wasn't enough, Kobe's family ties crumbled too. His feud with his parents and sisters was just as messy. It started when he married Vanessa back in 2001, with Joe and Pam Bryant boycotting the wedding because they didn't approve of her ethnicity and her young age. The fallout exposed racial prejudices inside the Bryant family that shocked fans. Things only got uglier in 2013 when his parents tried to auction off his personal memorabilia, including high school keepsakes and even championship rings, behind his back. For a man celebrated as one of the greatest players to ever touch the game, Kobe's off-court life was filled with scandals, betrayals, and broken relationships that left scars just as deep as his legendary achievements. Make sure you drop a comment with your thoughts on this one. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and stay locked in. Because here on Juice Alert, we're breaking down the stories that shake the sports world to its core. See you in the next one.